Well guys, I officially have the keys to my next Porsche, but it's not what you'd expect.
That's because it's a Porsche that most people don't think about. This is the Porsche 968, and it's in the transaxle family of Porsches. These were meant to be entry-level cars with four-cylinder engines that started out with the 924, then evolved into the 944. They sprinkled in the V8 928 in between, but at the very end of the 944's life, Porsche decided to give it one last facelift, a facelift so big that they decided to rename the entire car, and that led us to the 968. It featured the best of the evolution of the 944's engine with better parts, coming out to a 3-liter four-banger. For reference, the Ferrari F40's V8 of that time was 2.9 liters, so a 3-liter four-cylinder is pretty unique, and I'm pretty sure it was the 4th largest four-cylinder engine ever made at that point. So overall, if this car was the best in its series and had a great engine, then why is it not as known? A lot of this boils down to timing and price. Unfortunately, this car was released during a recession, and the price point that it was pitched at simply couldn't compete with cars like the E36 M3 of this time, as well as you had other big JDM giants coming out like the Supras and the RX-7s. And by this point, people were starting to get a little tired of the transaxle Porsches, and Porsche themselves were in the process of developing their next entry-level cars, which later would be the Boxster. With all that in mind, this meant that they simply didn't make that many of them. Total production globally was around 12,780, which is close to about how many Lamborghini Aventadors have been made. Out of that 12,000, only 4,000 were brought to North America, and only 2,000 of that were coupes. So with this being such a rare car, I was surprised to find out that they were still fairly affordable. You can still buy your average 968 for around $20,000. Now, of course, things can get a lot more steep from there depending on color rarity, as well as the fact that they did make a limited CS model, which fetches a lot more into the 80,000. But 20 grand in the Porsche world for something that's this rare and this cool to me is a steal. And of course, it ain't gonna be no Honda Civic, but based on what I've read, this car is surprisingly more reliable than most people would think. I began my hunt on auction sites because these cars are fairly rare to find, so Bring a Trailer was my first go-to. I was actually in the middle of a bidding war on one, but when it reached the $30,000 point, that was my time to pull out.
Oh my god, yep. Someone else bid on it. Dude, there's multiple people going at this.
A few weeks later, another car showed up on Facebook Marketplace. However, this car was located all the way across the country from me in New York. However, I had an idea that later in the month, I would be going down to Slammed Enough Gatlinburg in Tennessee. And how cool would it be if I purchased this car in New York, road tripped it all the way down to Tennessee, and got to experience my first Gat in a brand new Porsche to me. So I gave the car some time to marinate on the market, and after a few weeks, I got to messaging.
Alright, we've been doing some messaging back and forth, and we have negotiated the car from $25,000 down to $21,000. Now, for this condition 968 in this color and spec and everything, I am very happy with that price. So now all we gotta do is fly ourselves across the country. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Albany, New York. We are a long ways from home, and we have in fact purchased ourselves maybe another bad decision. Say hello to my 1993 Porsche 968, finished out in beautiful, glistening Amazon green. Now, I know what you're thinking. You might see blue. Well, this color is honestly both. Thank you. 93.
You selling it?
No, I just bought it, like literally like 10 minutes ago.
What's the miles on it?
It's got like 120,000 miles.
That ain't nothing. That's nice.
Thank you. As I was saying, this color shines blue in the sunlight but reflects green in the shadows. It's literally both. And then when you get real up close, there's a lot of flake and sparkle on it. This is the first time I've ever owned a blue car as well as a green car, and why not both? I will say it's not the most rarest color you could have on a 968, but it's also not the most common. And for a classy car like this, I figured it was time UltraMotive buys a classy dark metallic color. So yeah, I'll see how this camera can do this color justice, but you just really have to see it in direct sunlight in person. And of course, there are other Porsche 911s that are finished out in Amazon green. It is a famous Porsche color, but on a 968, it is beautiful. And then on the inside, we have it paired with tan on black interior. I'm not one to have full tan, but when it's paired with black contrast, I kind of like it, especially with our exterior color here, and the fact that our dash is black, so we're not going to have any dash reflections. But overall, this is probably the classiest spec of a car that I have ever purchased. Those of you that know a lot of Euro cars from this era know that the doors are a highlight in being pure ASMR. I mean, listen to the click of this bad boy right here. It's so satisfying. Of course, the older 911s of this era had it, E30s, and the 968 has the click as well. But while I have this car out in the sun, I want to address the overall design of it, because I know it is controversial. It's hit or miss. You may like it or you may not. To me, I personally love it. I think it is the best modernization on the 944. Makes it look a lot more contemporary. I'd say the front is probably the biggest hit or miss part, with the fact that it doesn't have full-on pop-ups. It has, well, I'll show you guys in a second. However, it's really when you come over to the back that I think this is the best rear end fitted on any transaxle Porsche. This just fully modernizes the 944's rear end, the old 80s blocky taillights. This definitely looks like a more 90s approach. And yes, you no longer have covered pop-ups in the front, but you have a very 993 looking front end, and overall I think it still goes with the car. And as always, you have to trust the UltraMotive process, and that we're going to further improve the stance and the overall aggression that this car is capable of. I mean, look at these rear fenders right here. Look at how boxy and how far they poke out. The standard car just has pretty weak fitment and weak wheels, in my opinion, and I don't think it does the design justice. But I feel like when you fit this car out, the wide hips, the overall body, I think it has so much potential. The design of this car is a hit or miss part that I think has been keeping the values down, but I think as younger generations get into it, us younger people are going to appreciate the more contemporary, more modern approach to it, and therefore these cars will be more appreciated in the long run. Now, on our first day of picking this up, we do have a small road trip today. We got to make it down to Maryland from New York, and if you excuse me, I got to add our trip permit because we currently don't have any license plates. If you're flying across the country, buying a car out of state, and then driving it across the country back home, remember you need a transit permit. Obviously, I'm not going to register this car here in the state of New York, but I can't just teleport it to wherever I am going to register it. So that is what is needed. Oh my God, so satisfying. You guys might notice my handy moonroof up here. This is aftermarket. However, this is fully removable. There's a bunch of brackets right here that you could release it back there. And then you have almost a Targa 968. I didn't even know that when I bought this car. A couple other things are aftermarket. We do have an aftermarket unit right there, which is nice because I can Bluetooth connect to the stereo. We have, you know, one of these is mandatory. And this steering wheel is not aftermarket, and this is gonna have to go. I would like this to be aftermarket. It's a little ugly. So far, I've noticed that this car shares two things in common with my Murcielago. It likes to beep. As soon as I open the door, it's beeping at me. And the other thing is that right down here, we have a flyaway handbrake. A handbrake on the left side, which you push all the way down there. This one doesn't get in your way as much as the Mercy one does, but left side handbrakes, they're not a common thing. There we go. Now, in between test driving and getting the trip permit, I've had a little bit of the day to familiarize myself with this car, and boy, let me tell you, it is fun. Dude, this thing scoots. Now, the 3-liter 4-banger spits out a whopping 260 horsepower. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but hear me out. I come from the background of 8th Gen Civic Si, not much of a torquey engine, way less power. So for me, at least, shifting my perspective to have lower expectations, this car feels very torquey, as we shall try and demonstrate right now. Oh yeah. I'm pretty sure this is a stock shifter setup, and the throws are way more rigid and satisfying than I could have expected from a 90s car. I gotta say, with where I set my expectations for this car, it fully exceeded them on the power and speed department. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm definitely a torquey kind of guy. I prefer the supercharged and big motor cars over the turbo cars, and that's why this 968 is another great example of that. On top of that, it usually means that your car is going to be a lot more reliable. There's less things going on, less things to go wrong. But it is a beautiful day out in the countryside of upstate New York, and we are driving our, dare I say, vintage Porsche around. It's funny because this car and my R32 GTR are from the same era. My R32 is a 1991, this car is a 1993, and comparing them from an overall package point of view, I would say that this car is actually a lot closer to equal than you would think, and that's pretty ridiculous considering the price difference, considering that I got this for basically 20K, and my Skyline, well, I did get for not too far around that, but that was like over 5 years ago. The R32 GTR in really good condition will be more than double 20K. So I feel like these cars are just so slept on. Not really trying to like purposely hike up the market or anything, but I'm just trying to introduce you guys into something that maybe could be a possible new dream that you didn't know you had. Getting on the freeway now for the first time in my 968. Now, of course, this car isn't gonna corner like a 911, but it honestly feels lighter than you'd think. We have 5 hours and 14 minutes to our first destination. What is this? What even is that? Oh my God, it's a Citroen. That is so cool. That is so cool. The sun is going down and we have cut out half of our time. We're getting closer now in Pennsylvania of all states. I want it to be known that not only is this the furthest away I have ever purchased a car, it is the furthest away from home I've ever driven one of my own cars. Obviously, you know, we got a little bit of a head start because we're simply just buying it out here. We don't have to worry about getting it out here, but we do have to worry about getting it home. And it is really surreal to be driving something of your own on the East Coast for me, because that within itself is something that has never happened. The funny thing is that my record for longest road trip in a car home is gonna be in a 90s car. If you told me that prior, I would say you're absolutely crazy. But little history brief on this thing. The previous owner bought this car back in 2011, and he honestly didn't put that many miles on it throughout. He put around 10,000 miles throughout all that time, but it was garage kept and babied and only really taken out on the weekends, and he did a lot of servicings. He did belts, clutch master cylinder, hoses. Believe me when I say that he was the sweetest gentleman that I've ever bought a car from. I mean, he was probably old enough he could have been my dad. I asked him to check how old the battery was. He said it was from 2014. I don't even know how the car was still starting, but he was down to immediately install a brand new battery before I pulled up, and that's how we are safely rolling right now. The car I picked out may have over 100,000 miles, but a lot of it is trusting the previous owners, the history. You gotta buy into the seller of the car, and he basically sold me, and so far this thing has been an absolute trooper. It is all green flags on our first day road trip test. No sounds, no codes, no nothing. I'm gonna cross my fingers that it stays that way. This is my first time seeing Amazon green at night with some lighting. It is literally blue right now. I mean, I love how this color is shifting all the time. My first pit stop on our full adventure is with this guy right here.
Yeah.
Mr. Reese Conklin.
First time in Baltimore.
Yes, sir. First time indeed. And this guy is the drifting expert of, well, when did you start doing this?
I was 11. I'm 18 now, so.
11? Not just like, you know, doing some donuts in a park. Like, no, this guy's been professional.
Right in this parking lot too, if you want to. Like, you can see everything. It's just.
What do you think of this?
Dude, I love it. Honestly, I was telling Jack on the way to the shop, like, I've never really paid attention to these cars, honestly, because it's always been like the rave is about the 944. But yeah, I don't know. I think I definitely would take this over a 944 personally, and like. The color alone just makes it. I thought it was fjord green at first, but then I learned it was Amazon green. But it's just like, yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's 944 really cool. Just peak. Yeah. And the only thing that the 944 has that this doesn't. Well, actually, let me demonstrate.
Just wants to take a good look.
Yeah. About these. Okay, they're not as cool as 944 pop-ups will be, but they're my froggy lights, and this car, Amazon green, technically. So we could maybe call it our Kermit 968. I don't know.
It looks like a frog, not gonna lie. It's just so funny to me how they just pop straight out of the housing. It's just straight up.
You don't think they're gonna be so round and bubbly, and then all of a sudden just bloop. So, you know, it's funny. This is my first ever car I've ever owned with pop-ups, and it's a little unfortunate. I'd say it's bittersweet that this is how they are. I would classify these as pop-ups. I mean, you know, I get to see things extract out of the front when I'm driving. Yeah, it's so goofy. I love it. Yo.
Gotta get the flick. This is my winning circle.
This is your lobby?
Yeah.
You guys have an actual lobby?
Yeah, detailing business.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, we got a whole. It's funny though, because we got a bunch of like different memory things. Like if you look at here, my uncle has Speed Design. It's the shop right above us, and here's like an old car.
That's so sick.
They did like. There's just a bunch of little things around, but
yeah. Oh, proof of his success. More proof of success.
This was a comp that me and my dad did together. We actually won.
No way. That's so sick.
Monster fridge, plug, not plug.
All right, let's see where the real party's at. Oh, whoa!
It's a goal.
The detailing. Yeah, so is this thing getting detailed?
Yeah, so we do a lot of mold remediation, and like this was from overseas, and it had a lot of mold in it, then we're just cleaning it out.
Yeah.
But
dude, this car is almost Amazon green too. Yeah. Alright, this is what we're talking about.
This is my dad's C5 Z06 Corvette, which we're actually going to take out here in a little bit. But
I didn't know this.
yeah, I mean, I have beat this car up and I feel horrible about it. I've blown a motor in it. I've sent something through the back bumper.
This is your guys' like practice missile. It's still in really good shape in person.
I really can't complain. But
Yeah.
it's a full. First of all,
Holy
got the Reese Conklin sticker tune, right?
Yeah.
But we full cage. Got to make it legal for drift events.
Yes,
But
sir.
I think this is the lowest car we have
Yeah.
because it's like the body itself is so low.
Yeah.
Now we don't have enough space in the shop to hold everything, but this is our race trailer. Once again,
Oh.
kind of a mess. Here's all of our banners that we got.
Yeah. Ooh. Oh, with the freaking interior decorated.
Yeah, so my sister did a full like graffiti like spray paint type of deal. She just freehanded that, which is pretty cool. But
Dude, this car is in its own studio inside of a trailer right now. Like, what?
Dude.
That's so sick.
Yeah,
well, so viewers, if you guys have kind of picked up by now, these guys have really good taste in drift colors, very similar to a once cotton candy machine, JackUltraMotive. A little more teal, a little more. How
well,
would
the
you describe?
E36 is actually inverted, so the roof is teal, front end is pink. So
Yeah.
it's a full inverted thing, but
The E36 is like your like special personal.
that's my baby.
Yeah.
I went to daycare in that car, and like my parents put 90,000 miles on it, and then we were deciding to like screw it, let's just make a full drift car out of it. So
yeah, and so
Yeah,
that's not
that's
here right
where-
now.
Yeah.
But this is the latest build.
Yeah, it is actually in Formula Drift in 2023 and 2024. I'm trying to go back in 2026 under a
Ooh.
new owner now.
Who was driving it back then?
Dan Malvasio. He was only in it for 2
Oh.
years, but yeah, I mean the car was really well built. And,
Yeah.
the LS2 with big old
Jesus.
blow dryer on there. So yeah, I mean, I was telling Jack before, like the G-forces that this car can pull in mid drift, I've never felt anything like it. So it's right around 800 wheel horsepower, and it's like it's a rocket, to be completely honest.
There's something missing. Where's the exhaust?
That's the fun part of it.
He said that's the fun part. Your pop-ups beat mine.
Yeah,
Made your own grill.
yeah. No structural integrity anymore.
Did it actually cool down the car?
No. No.
You didn't get more airflow out of it?
There was a
sadly?
blown fuse at the end of the day. We realized there was just a blown fuse.
Oh, that's why it was overheating.
Yoink.
How do you see out of this thing?
That's
Well,
the fun part is you don't. Okay?
Reese sits a little bit lower than I'm sitting right now, so
That's
he's got
true.
an upward field of view, but my head is in a roll bar.
I always I never understood that. So this is a Cage Kids cage, and I never realized why they didn't put the bar like here instead of here. I don't really get it, but
Oh well.
I mean, never had issues. So.
The chop out of this is
Alright,
pure
dude.
insane. You said this is a truck motor?
Yeah, it's a LQ9, I'm pretty sure.
Let's see what it can do.
Yeah, bro.
Oh my god.
I told you, bro, there's our little playground.
Dude, we smoked out the whole place. This kid is crazy. Oh my god. You have your own like burnout pit essentially.
Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier. I learned how to drive here, so like it always made me like super good with spacing and vehicle
Yeah.
size because like you saw, there's a lot of stuff in this parking lot, so it's like making sure you don't hit anything is big. But
Yeah, you don't really have that much room for error.
Not
What
at
happens
all.
if you ever messed up when you were learning?
you don't.
It's like, oh, there goes a 4Runner.
Yeah, you don't see me again.
Now at the Conklin household, the toys don't end. We got 996T, big
Yeah.
turbo on LM. Oh yeah.
Yeah, this is the rig. I don't know how I got this lucky to have my dad trust me to drive this to Gatlinburg. But we're taking this.
We're taking that tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm gonna be driving this 9.5 hours tomorrow. So.
And it's very fitting because I'll be in a Porsche, so we're gonna be Porsche convoying. And
Yeah.
then this is staying here, but this is also a really cool vehicle, S13.
It's like my dad's dream car. Like he started building this when I was like 5. I'm 18 now, so it's like every nut and bolt came off this car, and it was fully like frame painted and then built back up from the beginning. So these are actually Chris Forsberg's first set of championship wheels. Like there's
Oh,
there's
what?
a bunch of different stuff on these.
What
on this
motor's
car.
under here?
The LS1.
Oh, okay.
That's what my dad was saying.
There's a pattern. There's a
Yeah.
pattern in this family.
Hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
And this is a E36 M3 color.
Yeah.
Right?
Techno Violet.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, I mean,
the-
it fits like a glove.
The wood.
Oh, okay, okay. Got the Koki tails,
Yeah.
and then
Hey, we got those before
Beautiful
it got
turbo.
played out.
yeah. Well, my first day with the 968 has basically come to an end, and my thoughts with this car so far are that it might be one of the most underrated vehicles I have ever purchased. For $20,000, there hasn't been a single thing that's let me down. A lot of things have impressed me. The main one being how simply fun and sporty this car is. I really had low expectations with that, or I was kind of scared about how it would feel. But the torque you get out of the engine, the handling, and the shifter. I think the main failure point is that it's a Porsche. In that, with it being a Porsche, hear me out, hear me out, hear me out. Because it's labeled as a Porsche, it has such a high expectation it has to live up to.
Yeah.
And so when people think of the transaxle Porsches, you're like, oh, it's the poor man's Porsche. He couldn't get a 911, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Hey, like, slap a Toyota badge on that or something, and then like that's what the car is. Dude, I bet this car would be a viral sensation. At least it deserves to be, because I don't know, it's such an insane package for the price, and I'm seriously not trying to hike them up, but I'm just saying, I think people are seriously sleeping on this. I mean, a good comparison is actually what's like right in there, the S13 hatch. Obviously, a lot of S13s are well suitable for drifting, and you couldn't really, I mean, that's not really what this car is.
Could, but
yeah. But there's a lot of people, I guarantee, like probably honestly like 75% of guys that own S13s probably just street drive them around, and they're more function oriented. And so like, as an alternative to that, because clean S13s are literally 20 grand and above, I'm just saying you could have one of these, and I mean, from the get-go, you're already getting a lot more quality, at least with the interior, the build quality. It's a Porsche at the end of the day. It's not an old Nissan.
Now, I will say, I was talking with Jack about this a little bit before. For like I always kind of classified like the 944, the 968, and like that type of Porsche as like the businessman, like get it around town type of car.
Yeah.
This is by far my favorite out of that like trilogy. Like,
out of the transaxles.
Yeah, I mean, like even the rear end is a lot more, I don't know, sporty. Like I really do like the 968 comparatively. I mean, I feel like it's unfair to compare it to like a 911, but if we're comparing to a 944 or another like 928, like I would take this for sure.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is literally the best of the 944 lineage that you get. The 928, I haven't experienced. That's the one that has the V8. And yes, you may think, oh, how is that not better than this? But they are just goddamn hideous in my opinion. I mean, it looks way outdated in the front. The rear end looks like ET, and the wheel wells aren't even symmetrical. It's just not a good looking car. And honestly, the values of those also reflect that, because those have stayed rock bottom after all these years of people thinking that they'd go up. So that's why, yeah, it leaves us here with 968. Hopefully that'll leave you guys thinking. But stay tuned, because literally first thing in the morning, in like
something like 7 hours.
Yeah, probably 7 hours or something from now, we are driving here from Baltimore all the way here from Baltimore all the way down to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. It's like what, 9 hours?
9.5, yeah.
It'll
probably take us like 10.5 or 11.
Yeah. I'm taking my P car, and Reese is taking his dad's very fancy P car. But it'll be a great pairing on the road together, and it'll be my first ever Gatlinburg in my first ever one of these. So this is gonna be a good week.
It's like the most obnoxious light to ever exist.
It's literally like, who goes there? Damn, it's not spamming now as it just was.
Yeah, here we go. Oh, now it decides to actually do it. It'll be like 2 in the morning. It's like